Black made a move. Queen takes a to pause the video to figure out white's next move. On g4. Queen c4. Black's idea is to play queen takes g4 check and take decisive advantage. On h3 move preferred by white. Queen c5. King g2. Queen d5 check. King g3. White is aiming to play queen f8 check. King g5. Queen f4 mate and put immense pressure on the opponent. Queen c5 was chosen by black. On h4. Queen c7 check. King h3. White is preparing to play on g5 check. King h5. Queen f3 mate and establish a winning position. Queen c8 was chosen by black. On f3. White is planning to play queen f7. On a4. King g2. Queen c5. On g5 check. Queen takes g5 check. On takes g5 check and dominate the board. On a4 played by black. Queen f7. White is setting up to play king g2. Queen d8. On g5 check. Queen takes g5 check. On takes g5 check and dominate the board. On b5 move preferred by black. King g2. Queen d8. On g5 check. Queen takes g5 check. On takes g5 check. King takes g5. Black is struggling to keep up. Let's go to the next game. White made a move. Queen takes g6 check. Pause the video to find out black's response. King d7. Queen g4 check. King d8. Queen g8 check. King e7. Queen g7 check. King e6. Queen takes h6 check. King d5. Queen g5 check. King c4. Queen f4 check. King b3. Queen g3 check. King c2. Queen g6 check. King b2. Queen f6 check. King b1. Queen f5 check. Queen c2. Black considers playing queen takes f5. On h4. On promotes to queen at d1. On b6. Queen e5 check. On g3. Queen de1. On h5. Queen takes g3 mate and take decisive advantage. Queen g4 move preferred by white. On promotes to queen at d1. Queen b4 check. Black has a decisive advantage. Let's go to the next game. White played queen takes a7 check. Pause the video to analyze black's next move. King h6. Black is planning to play on d2. Queen e3 check. Queen takes e3. On takes e3. On promotes to queen at d1 check and put immense pressure on the opponent. Queen a5 played by white. Queen e2. Black might go for on d2. Queen d8. On promotes to queen at d1 check. Queen takes d1. Queen takes d1 check and increase their advantage significantly. Queen b4 played by white. King h5. Black intends to play on d2. Queen f4. On promotes to queen at d1 check and put immense pressure on the opponent. Queen c4 was chosen by white. Queen e1 check. King h2. Queen e5 check. On g3. White intends to play queen takes d3 and secure a strong hold in the game. Queen e4 move preferred by black. Black might go for queen takes c4. On takes c4. On d2. King g2. On promotes to queen at d1 and increase their advantage significantly. Queen c1 was chosen by white. White is aiming to play queen g5 mate and put immense pressure on the opponent. On h6 played by black. King g1. Queen e2. Black is aiming to play. On d2. Queen f1. Queen takes f1 check and establish a winning position. Queen c4 move preferred by white. Queen e1 check. King g2. White wants to play queen takes d3 and take decisive advantage. On d2 move preferred by black. On g4 check. King takes h4. On takes f5 check. King g5. On f3. On promotes to queen at d1. Queen g4 check. Black has a decisive advantage. Let's go to the next game. White played queen b4. Pause the video and try to find black's next move. White intends to play queen takes b2 check and seize the initiative. Queen takes b4 was chosen by black. On takes b4. King f6. On g4. King e5. Black might go for king f4. On g5. King takes g5 and seize the initiative. King g3 played by white. King d4. Black is planning to play king c3. King f4. King takes b4. King e5. On g5 and put immense pressure on the opponent. King f4 was chosen by white. On g5 check. King f5. King c3. Black intends to play king takes b4 and put immense pressure on the opponent. On f4 played by white. On takes f4. King takes f4. King takes b4. King f3. King c3. Black might go for king d3. King g3. On b4. King h4. King e3. King h5. King f3. King takes h6. King takes g4 and gain a significant edge. King e4 was chosen by white. King d2. Black is preparing to play. On b4. King f3. King d3. King g2. King e3. King g3. On b3 and dominate the board. King d4 was chosen by white. King e2. King c5. King f3. King takes b5. King takes g4. King a6. Black is in a commanding position. Let's go to the next game. Black played queen e1 check. Pause the video and try to find white's next move. Queen c3 check. Queen takes c3 check. King takes c3. King g4. King b4. White is planning to play. On c5. King f5. On c6. King e6. King a5. King d6. King b6 and increase their advantage significantly. King f5 played by black. Black wants to play. On h5. King a5. On h4. King takes a6. King e6. King b5. On h3. On a4. On h2 and seize the initiative. King a5 move preferred by white. King e6. King takes a6. On h5. On c5. On h4. Black's idea is to play. On h3. On a4. On h2. On a5. On promotes to queen at h1 and increase their advantage significantly. Pawn c6 was chosen by white. White intends to play pawn c7, king d5. Pawn promotes to queen at c8, king d4, queen h3, and sees the initiative. King d6 move preferred by black. Black is setting up to play king takes c6 and establish a winning position. King b6 was chosen by white. On h3, on c7, on h2. Black intends to play king d7, king c5. Pawn promotes to queen at h1 and establish a winning position. Pawn promotes to queen at c8 was chosen by white. White might go for queen b8 check, king e6. Queen takes h2 and sees the initiative. Pawn promotes to queen at h1 was chosen by black. Queen c7 check, king e6. Queen c6 check. Queen takes c6 check. King takes c6. King e5. Black is struggling to keep up. Let's go to the next game. Black just played queen f8. Pause the video and try to predict white's next move. Queen f6. White is aiming to play king e2. On a5. Pawn takes a5 and gain a significant edge. On a5 was chosen by black. Black wants to play on a4, king e2. On a3, queen f3. Queen takes b4 and put immense pressure on the opponent. Pawn takes a5 played by white. On b4, on a6. White is aiming to play on a7. Queen takes h6. Pawn takes h6. Pawn b3. Pawn promotes to queen at a8 mate and take decisive advantage. Pawn b3 move preferred by black. Black wants to play pawn b2. King g2. Pawn promotes to queen at b1 and take decisive advantage. Queen f3 played by white. White might go for on a7, pawn b2, queen b7, queen d8, king e2, king f8, queen takes b2 and increase their advantage significantly. Queen c8 move preferred by black. Queen b7, queen c4 check, king e1, queen c3 check, king e2, queen c2 check, king f3, queen f5 check, king e3, queen takes g5 check, king d3. White is preparing to play queen a8 check, queen d8 check, queen takes d8 mate and put immense pressure on the opponent. Queen takes h6 was chosen by black. On a7, queen h3 check, king d4, queen h4 check, king c3. White might go for queen c8 check, king g7. Pawn promotes to queen at 8 and take decisive advantage. Queen takes f2 played by black. Pawn promotes to queen at 8 check. King g7. White is in a commanding position. Let's go to the next game. White played queen f8 check. Pause the video to figure out black's next move. King e5. Queen e7 check. King f4. Black considers playing. Pawn promotes to queen at a1 and sees the initiative. Queen b7 move preferred by white. Queen c3. Queen b8 check. Queen e5. Pawn g3 check. King f5. Queen c8 check. Queen e6. Queen c5 check. King g6. Pawn h5 check. King h6. Queen d4. Queen e2 check. King h3. Queen f1 check. King h4. Queen h1 check. King g4. Queen takes h5 check. King f4. Queen e5 check. Queen takes e5. Pawn takes e5 check. King takes e5. Pawn promotes to queen at a 1 check. King d5. White is outplayed. Let's go to the next game. Black made a move. Queen e6. Pause the video to figure out white's next move. Queen takes e6. Pawn takes e6. King g3. King g7. King f3. King f7. King e3. King e7. King d4. King f6. Black is setting up to play. King f5. King e3. Pawn g5. Pawn takes g5. King takes g5 and increase their advantage significantly. King e4 move preferred by white. King f7. Pawn a4. King e7. King e5. King f7. King d6. King f6. King c6. White's idea is to play king takes b6 and secure a stronghold in the game. Pawn g5 move preferred by black. Pawn takes g5 check. King takes g5. King takes b6. King h4. Pawn a5. King takes h3. Pawn a6. King g2. Pawn a7. White is looking to play pawn promotes to queen at 8 check and gain a significant edge. King takes f2 was chosen by black. Pawn promotes to queen at 8. King g3. Black has no response. Let's go to the next game. Black just played. Queen d3 check. Pause the video to find out white's response. King g7. Queen d4 check. King f7. Queen takes c4 check. King f8. Queen f1 check. King e8. Queen e2 check. Queen e7. Queen h5 check. King f8. Queen f3 check. Queen f7. White is looking to play. Queen takes f3. King a6. Pawn promotes to queen at d8. Pawn h5. Queen fd5. Pawn b5. Queen 5-8 mate and take decisive advantage. Queen d3 played by black. Queen e6. Queen a3 check. King e8. White considers playing, pawn promotes to queen at d8 and take decisive advantage. Queen a4 move preferred by black. Queen d5. Pawn h5. Queen c5 check. King a8. Queen d6. Queen e4 check. Queen e7. White is preparing to play. Queen takes e4. King a7. Pawn promotes to queen at d8. Pawn b6. Queen e8 mate and gain a significant edge. Queen a4 was chosen by black. King f8. Queen f4 check. King g8. Queen g3 check. King f7. Queen f4 check. King g6. Queen g4 check. King h7. Queen f5 check. King h8. White is aiming to play. Pawn promotes to queen at d8 check. King a7. Queen a3 check. Queen a5. Queen takes a5 mate and sees the initiative. Queen takes d7 was chosen by black. Queen takes d7. King a7. White is in a commanding position. Let's go to the next game. Black played. Pawn a5. Pause the video and try to predict white's next move. Pawn c6. Pawn h5. Queen d7. Queen b8. Pawn c7. Queen b1 check. King f2. Queen b6 check. King f3. Queen b3 check. King f4. Queen c4 check. King g5. Queen c1 check. King f6. Queen b2 check. King e7. Queen e5 check. King d8. Queen f6 check. King e8. Queen e5 check. Queen e7. Queen b5 check. King d8. Queen b6. Queen e8 check. King g7. Queen e5 check. On f6. Queen e7 check. King h6. King e8. Queen c6 check. Queen d7. Queen e4 check. King f8. Queen b4 check. King g8. Queen c4 check. King h8. White's idea is to play Queen d2 check. On g5. Queen d7. Queen g8 check. King takes g8. King g6. Queen h7 mate and take decisive advantage. King g5 move preferred by black. Pawn promotes to queen at c8. Queen takes c8 check. Queen takes c8. On h4 black's loss is confirmed. Let's go to the next game.